Hello everyone, you're watching Newcastle United Life and Times YouTube channel. My name's Robin. On today's show I'm joined by Paul and Len, and hopefully Owen and Alan will be along soon. And we're here to discuss that incredible potty, call it what you want, game at St James's Park yesterday, where it ended Newcastle United 4, Luton Town 4. Wow, where'd you start with this one? Len, you were there. Do you want to give an account of what you witnessed?
Well, where do I start? I made a couple of notes on my phone. I've not even looked at. I can't even bear to look at what I've typed in my phone to remind us of what went on. Because to be honest, it was all over the shop, wasn't it? First of all, I think to get the negative things out of the way, I think defensively we were poor. Not to go into each individual goal, we haven't got all day, have we? Really? I'm sure Paul will no doubt touch on one or two of them individually. But I think defensively we were poor. Dan Burn seems to be coming in for all the stick. But I think as a unit we weren't really good enough, and Dubravka wasn't in top form yesterday either. So we conceded quite a few goals there on the day, and went it was just crazy. It was like end to end stuff. It was like, well, you score one, we'll score one. It was unbelievable. The midfield I think was weak. I think if you stick Joe Linton in that midfield, I think you get a different result. If you stick Isak up front, you get a different result. But all in all, Luton came and they had nothing to lose, and they were entertaining to watch actually. And from an entertainment point of view, I have to say, if I was a neutral supporter, probably one of the best matches I've been to at St James's Park. Not for atmosphere, not for anything like that, but just for the sheer entertainment value, because it was just one goal after another. My granddaughter loved it. She thinks we're going to really see this many goals every match, and I keep saying no, this is not the point. But no, I think there's been quite a lot of negativity, and I understand it, because how can you go from going to Villa and playing as well as what we did and getting an outstanding result to then playing a relegation threatened side at St James's Park and only manage a draw? And in fairness, I think one or two people agree that if the game had gone on any longer, they were just as likely to score the winner as what we were. So I was delighted when the final whistle went. I must admit, when that fourth goal went in, I nearly lost my voice. I was delighted. I thought, hey, we've come back. We shouldn't really need to be celebrating the fact we've managed to scrape a draw against a side like Luton. But Luton, give them credit. The supporters were fantastic. They never stopped. It was a great day out for them. Great day's entertainment. I think Eddie Howe's he's already said he's got loads to work on in the next week, because really there was large parts of that game where we weren't good enough. And the bright spark for me was seeing Harvey Barnes come on. And he took that goal just like he scored one or two in it, when he did play before he got injured. He just takes the goal so calmly. So to take the one positive out of it, I think that's it. I've seen a player come back from injury, because I think he will be like a new signing. And as far as Dan Burn, just to finish on Dan Burn, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Dan Burn is in need of a rest. Liveramento's sitting on the bench. Dan Burn isn't as good as Livermento in that position, and it's time that change that for the next game. But all in all, great entertainment. Disappointing result, I have to say, just getting a point. Plenty to work on for going into next week's match. Plenty for them to do on the training ground, I think.
Okay, excellent. Cheers. Paul, what was your take on yesterday's potty game?
I'm trying to remember all the goals. Obviously, when we started, we got the first goal. Longstaff, good finish. Good ball from Miley down to Trippier. Great ball in. Longstaff 1-0. Then the second one, their equaliser, I think Botman gave a daft free kick away, didn't he? The lad just crossed at the back post, and then the other lads coming in unchallenged. Longstaff just left him. And then we went 2-1 up, and it was another canny goal, wasn't it? It was Longstaff again, another good finish from Longstaff. Yeah. And at 2-1, I thought if we could just nick the third, because we were playing well at that time. And then their second goal was just so weak. Murphy, half-hearted tackle. Longstaff, Barkley went through him again. Clean run on goal, put it wide. Crossed it, Dubravka parries it, and Barkley's got like an open goal. And then the start, the second half, you're thinking, well, Burn was getting roasted a few times in the first half. He's either got to have more help on that left-hand side, or you've got to have the balls to take him off. Sometimes I know he's been playing all right, Burn. He was good at Villa, but sometimes you've just got to make these decisions for the good of the side. I know Eddie Howe said, we need him in for his height. But I think there's more chance of him getting roasted down that wing than them lobbing balls in all the time. Yeah. So I think he should have made the call like he did at Villa and brought Livramento on. Because when he did actually bring him on, that kid he only got in the once, didn't he? Really had that shot at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And the start of the second half when they got, I think, to be honest, it was hot. The penalty, I thought, he started to foul him outside the box. I don't know what you lads thought.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, I was
outside the box.
I was on level 7, had a bit of a bird's eye view of it, but you know the initial contact was outside the box, and you know I think the referee and linesman were happy with that, and then VAR decided to get involved, and whether they've changed the rules or not. But for me, if the first contact's outside the box, it's not a penalty.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was the ref didn't give it. That linesman, which was the first thing he spotted all half, he gave it.
Oh, right.
So I don't know how he must have good eyesight from behind it. Obviously, the fourth goal was a bit weird, but again, I think Burn gave the ball away again. Then they just outnumbered. It just became like a basketball game. It was just, there was no need for it. Obviously, the left back, he was exposed, Burn. Bruno was telling Botman to cover. By the time he did cover, the kid had put it in the back of the net. And then, I know it was a good comeback to 4s each. Good goal from Trippier, lovely ball in from Bruno. Harvey Barnes, brilliant. Miley did well to tackle Barkley. Great little tackle that. Fell to Barnes, 4-4. And then just after that, Barnes had another one. It was going in and the kid just deflected it wide. But then I think the last 5 minutes of normal time plus 10 minutes of stoppage time, I was a little bit disappointed. I expected we to have a go more. And like Len said, I think by the end of it, we were probably... I was happy to get a point, to be honest, because they were pushing as well.
Yeah.
But I think the midfield didn't look as organised as it did at Villa. They were just cutting through time and time again. And it's wide again at the wide areas. Teams are targeting that left-hand side with Joe Linton not being in the side. Miley's doing a good job, but he doesn't cover as much. He's not as physical. We're definitely missing that physical presence in the middle. The tackling isn't there. Joe Linton just barges people out the way. And I think I can't wait for Willock to come back because I think he's got a lot of legs and he nicks a lot of balls. I think Willock will be a massive upgrade. Not a slight on Miley, but it's just some games like that when he's playing too many games. The kid's only 17. It's asking a bit much in it. And to be fair, 4s each at the end. At 4-2, you would have took it, but you wouldn't have took that at the start of the game, would you?
No. Nope. No.
Yeah, very good.
Plus it cost me £230.
I'll
just say that. Cost me £230, that result.
What was your bet, Paul?
Sorry?
What was your bet, Paul?
I had 8 results. I was waiting in Newcastle and Villa. Obviously, Villa just won, didn't they?
What the viewers don't know is Paul was on the phone to me last night, breaking his heart. I had to console him for 45 minutes. Not the kind of thing you want after your team's just drew 4s each at home, but there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you're feeling a lot better today, though, Paul, are you?
Yeah, you're the last person I want to talk to when I've lost £230, Rob.
Well, you're the one that made the call, son. So. Right. I
think you'll find you rang me, but there you go.
Right. Alan, do you want to have your take on yesterday's potty game?
I think you've covered the game much, but I would like to cover Dan Burn again, which I've said for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on end, that he's not a left back and is still playing left back. When Eddie Howe come out and said, well, he played out against Villa. I was like, wait there, Bailey had him in his back pocket. He was just doing him all the time on the wing with a bit of pace. So what do? You play Dan Burn against a pacey winger and he's getting turned. And it's like, well, what does Tino Livramento need to do to start a bloody game? The great is play for your place. When Burn was injured, Livramento was an informed player. Everyone was praising him. Then when he gets fit, Burn walks straight back in the team. So Dan Burn will be thinking, well, it doesn't matter what I do, I'll get in the team anyway. But no, you need to play for your place. You know, it really knocked us when Eddie Howe came out. Oh, we've got to consider other things. Well, consider you've got a pacey winger, son. You have a pacey winger, and then you're putting Dan Burn at left back, which is not a left back.
Actually, there's two, just very quickly, Al, there's two things here to consider. One, the whole defence, I said earlier, but the whole defence, I think, was poor as a unit. Dan Burn's coming in for the stick. You'll probably find that Dan Burn won't start at left back in the next game. And for once, I'll agree with you, Al. It's time for a change.
But then they're not getting enough protection. They're not getting protected like off the midfield like they were last season.
I know it was said earlier, Paul, you're right, that midfield's not given the protection.
Joe Linton did a hell of a lot of unseen work on that left-hand side,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, he puts a shift in Joe Linton, that everyone does. And, yesterday, the defence wasn't much at the races as well. The two centre-backs weren't as organised as they usually are, I don't think. And Paul, you touched up on the stoppage time at the end. I was very disappointed in the performance in that stoppage time. We're at home, we're at St James's Park, and we should be pushing for that 5th goal. And Luton looked like the team more like the score. Mm-hmm. Then we're pushing us. I don't know what happened in that stoppage time. I was looking at the game and thinking to myself, what are these lads doing? Push. I feel when we got the 4th goal, if I pushed on, we would have got the 5th. I felt it myself. I thought, we're going to get the 5th, yeah, definitely. And it just seemed to fizzle out.
I think they were worried about them on the break, weren't they? That was the problem. If they pushed too much, they would have done on the break. I think they were a bit wary of that, weren't they?
Yeah, that was my concern. My concern that there was going to be, if there was one goal left in the game, it could have gone either way. That's what I thought. The way the game had gone, it could have easily been them. Could have easily been
when
us.
When the 4th went in, I felt the 5th was going to go.
Yeah, I thought
we were the favourites. Even the commentator said we were the favourites to get that 5th. You know what I mean? But, well done, Luton. I have to say, a team who's not full of stars or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to give them a big credit. You've got to give them
credit. They scored 4 goals against us. You've got to give them credit.
Yeah. So, considering events that happened throughout the game, Alan, were you happy with a point come the full-time whistle?
Well, the way the events unfolded and the point we were at, I am happy with the point. But still, when we went 1-0 up, 2-1 up, we just didn't kill it off. We couldn't, there was too many mistakes. And I think, from 4-2 down 4-4, but even I felt like at 4-2 down, then we got a 4-3, then in the 4-4, I thought, get in here again. They're going to get a 5th, yeah. Guys came back from injury, but did anyone see Callum Wilson? Is he still missing action? Because I didn't see much from him either.
Yeah, I thought Wilson did well, but he come on.
I didn't see much. I didn't see enough.
I thought he bullied that defence. I thought he did well.
Caused him a few problems, yeah.
I thought he did, like.
No, I don't think. I agree with.
I'm being sour because I wanted that 5th goal, to be honest.
No, I agree with you. I was at the match and I thought he was fairly anonymous. He wasn't a real threat. He did do some run around and did cause some problems.
I seen him deep.
I thought the player was alright. He was getting knee protection off that referee, mind. Not wanting. He was letting a lot of things go in.
Right. Is that you, John Allen?
Aye, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, well, I don't want you to talk too much, Sean, because you've got to save your throat for the night because you're on stage, aren't you?
Yeah, good point, Rob.
Just bear that in mind. Keep that throat protected.
You got them cards. Just hold up cards.
What was your take on that mad game yesterday, Owen?
Well, before that, I've never seen as a passionate speech ever since Kevin Keegan's at Leeds about you with Livermento there. Really passionate about this. But in terms of the game, I didn't think we deserved to win. I didn't think we deserved to get beat. So guess what? We drew. It was an entertaining game, 4-4.
Yeah.
So, in terms of apologies, I missed the intro, so I didn't get too much in terms of Anders and Len's input. But to me personally, it's probably already been covered, is that we were a little bit overrun in midfield. I thought Bruno was a little bit too high up the pitch. He needs to sit deep. And we play better where he sort of picks up the ball from the back four and plays. And I just thought, he was trying to play a little bit too advanced, and it was almost like we're chasing the game. And the 4th goal for Luton reminded me of the goal against Milan when they scored their second, where it was like pushing on, and we're left exposed, like 3 defenders, which were practically 3 centre halves. So, there's no width, and they just pick off and scored a 4th. But credit where credit's due. If we're getting beat 4-2 and you come back to win 4-4, and let's be honest with you, the impetus we had, it looked like we're going to score the 5th, like the lads have said. So it was a little bit disappointed not to score the 5th, but we'll kind of get too greedy. But I think the last 10 minutes, kind of when the injury time come up and we had that momentum, it was just a little bit disappointing. But maybe it's a little bit overcritical, but I thought that Howe should have brought Lewis Hall on for Bruno. I thought Bruno couldn't run. He was like,
Well, at the end, I couldn't run, could he?
I couldn't run. I just thought, and I know he's creative, and I know we've got a better chance of scoring a goal, but it could have easily went the other way, where they.
That's what I mean,
you know what I mean?
So, got a knife edge shot.
Exactly, but keeping it short, Rob. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're not going to win a game and we're not going to get beat, an entertaining 4-4 draw. Let's be honest with you, all pay £30 a ticket or whatever it is for your season ticket. So we kind of begrudge it. I might feel different next season if the bar's raised and stuff like that, and then it is an opportunity missed. But let's be honest with you, this season, I'm to come back from 4-2 down and draw 4-4, I'm happy with that. Like,
yeah, good.
Well done. Right, I mean, the downside was this fella. That's how he left St James's Park last night. Apparently, it's a twisted ankle. Let's hope it's not too serious. Has anyone heard anything? Any updates on
scans today? Hopefully, it's not ligaments, and he could be weeks, couldn't he, for that? I mean, he might. I've known players have them boots on and then be back the same week. So
yeah, I mean, I'd heard that what I've read is it was just a precaution, but as you say, Paul, you never know, do you?
He was in a lot of pain. It was his decision to come off, wasn't it? So that's never a good sign. But obviously, he was trying to just keep himself, and we had Barnes, didn't we?
That's what I'm saying. It was a positive that Barnes is back, and it was great to see him on the score sheet yesterday.
Natural
was.
But that's a little bit of a positive. If Gordon's out for a little bit, we've got Barnes there, so.
I think the thing about Barnes is, I said earlier, the goal he scored was typical of like 2 or 3 goals that he has scored for us since he signed. And he's just so comfortable when he gets the ball in that position. He almost just sort of passes it past the keeper.
Places it. He's good. Yeah,
he's brilliant. So I mean, he's gonna make a massive difference because you're looking at maybe 10 or 15 goals over a season from a player like that, and that's we sort of missed that, really, haven't we?
He's prepared to shoot outside the box as well, isn't he? I think we've missed that. Like a lot of our goals come from inside, apart from maybe Shea, but I kind of think of too many this season where it's like come outside the box. Gordon, maybe I don't know, but just going back to the Gordon injury, does anyone know when he done it? Because is he played on? Is he done it earlier in the first half, or just?
I think he must have been late
because he ran all right for the shot for the second goal, and then I can't remember him later on. He was still making a couple of runs. Whether he's just done it late in the half, I can't remember.
I must admit, though, and obviously you were at the match as well, I didn't notice him. The first I knew he was going off is obviously when Wilson comes on for the start of the second half. So I was
didn't get moved, did he? I can't remember him going down.
No, I can't remember him going down. And generally, it's a bad one if they go down, isn't it? Maybe if they can play on it, maybe it's not as worse as first fear. But it's just typical, isn't it? We'll get Bonds back, and then obviously Gordon's out injured. It's frustrating.
Yeah. That's been our season, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
1 in, 1 out.
I think we've got Willock back next week. Though Willock will be massive. I mean, you could even play him on the left, to be honest. But I think we need him in the middle. That 3's not working. I know they did our read at Villa, but they're not working, I don't think.
No,
something's not right in that middle.
Yeah.
Too easy to cut through.
Yeah.
Hopefully Isak's back as well for next week, because we'll do with him back as well.
And Anderson, I think he's 4 ways, Anderson. He's always decent.
So when you've got them players back, and if they're ever in the position of having them back, who would you put? Gordon on the other flank, Barnes and Isak up front? Would that be your
first half for me? He had Almiron on the left with Byrne, and Almiron doesn't give as much coverage as Gordon does.
Oh.
Actually, Almiron. I mean, I'm a great lover of Miggy. I thought he was terrible yesterday.
He was poor, wasn't he?
He's quiet. I mean, Gordon's got to be first choice on the left. I don't, as a cover centre forward, but his best position, as he's proved, is on the left, the left wing.
But Barnes doesn't like playing the right, does he? So where do you play Barnes?
So can Gordon go on the right and Barnes on the left?
I mean, Gordon can play on the right side. He could.
Can Barnes not? I thought that Barnes played on the right for Leicester.
He plays a lot more on the left. He didn't play much on the right for Leicester.
I think if they're both fit, then they're both the wingers, and then obviously you've got a couple on the bench as backup, haven't you? But
Murphy wasn't as good yesterday, was he?
No, he wasn't. So you'd have Murphy and Almiron on the bench in the long term. They would be our backup, if you like. But I was speaking to my stepson today, and he's quite right what he says. As long as we've got players like Murphy and Almiron starting games, we're not going to be a top 6 side with players like that, because them players would get nowhere near a top 6 side. They put the graft in. Didn't get us wrong. I love them both. They can be great. They can be great camaraderie, great players. But we need Harvey Barnes in there every week. you know, we need the players back, our first choice players, and it's all well and good having Almiron on the bench. I think that's fine.
Well, I think in the summer, then I think the whole squad will be upgraded. Oh
well, yes, without
it's got to.
Sentiments. You've got to get sentiment to get rid of players.
Get some money in from these players like the Murphys, Almirons, Lascelles contract's gone out. But like them two could bring a bit of money in, money off the wage bill, and upgrade a bit.
I mean, what's half these players doing? Are they bringing the oranges out and making tea at half time? What they're doing, some of these?
Makes you wonder, does
because they're bloody cut an orange up.
Because they're taking up a squad number, aren't they? I think that's the disappointing thing. They're not good enough. I'm not saying Almiron and whatever, but I'm saying more the likes of Richie and whatever. And they've been great servants for the club, but they're not giving anything, you know, on the pitch or a match day. They're just taking up a squad number, and you know you can't blame them really. Who wouldn't sit back on that amount of money? That family will be settled here and that type of thing. But you know, come the summer, it'll be interesting to see what changes are made, because we really have to ramp it up a little bit. We can't just, and I think Eddie Howe as well has got to be a bit more ruthless, I suppose, with some of these players that have been loyal to him, and say, like what Kevin Keegan used to do. I've been reading about this recently. You know, obviously times when he got rid of Mickey Quinn, he got rid of David Kelly, and he got
Gavin Peacock,
Andy Cole. You know, there's 3 examples where he got rid of 3 players there.
Scott Sellers for Ginola.
Loads, isn't it? But it was an upgrade every time, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's what you've got to do.
Right, just getting back to the question that you put out the other night, Owen, about the defender who scored the most goals
in the Premier League.
Right,
was
Alan,
it Premier League or all time?
No, Premier League, I said.
Right, Alan, you're the self-proclaimed stat man. You've had 3 or 4 days. Have you got an answer?
Well,
Alan?
I think it is Shaw. It was Shaw, like, but when I was looking at it,
did Lascelles not have about 20?
Lascelles
in the Premier League.
I thought he had quite. Maybe he hasn't in the Premier League.
No.
So any further forward on that one then?
Well, David
Work on
Craig
that
was,
one, Rob.
he's got a few. But that's when he was thinking in the 70s. You know what I mean? I thought you meant all time.
No, Premier League. I mean, Premier League. I'd Premier League defenders, I think, was centre half. I said, but if we open it out to defenders, then I would say, I would hazard a guess that up there is going to be Sher's going to be up there surely.
Shaw, Albert, and Dabizas.
I think Dabias be up there. I think Steve Watson and Robbie Elliott might be up there as well.
Steve Howie, how many did Steve Howie get?
There's another one, actually. That's a good shout, that, Sanders. Yeah. Howie be up there.
Stephen Taylor?
He used to be a striker, wasn't he?
Taylor didn't get loads. He was too busy just going doing in the penalty box.
Oh, being shot.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, on your point there, Al, Howie was it centre forward, and Keegan turned him into us. Realised he was a terrible striker, so says, right, we'll give you a shot at centre half.
Right, this is a bit I've been looking forward to for a few days. Right? I've masked the head on a player, right? So you've just got to look. Best way to do it is look at the shirt, so that gives you the era, roughly, and see if you can guess who the player is. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. So this is the first one. Relatively easy. You should get them. That's the first one.
Oh, that could be. Oh.
That's Chrissy Waddle.
I think, is it Glenn Roeder?
Well, I'll wait till everyone's had that.
Actually, I'm going to. Was that you, and I think I'm going to go.
So I think that's Roeder.
The body knew.
Just doing his little shuffle there, isn't he?
You ready? You ready for the answer?
Roeder.
Glenn Roeder. Yeah.
I wasn't even born, modern Rob. How way?
Next one. That's easy.
Bellamy.
Yeah, Bellamy it is, isn't it?
Bellamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
This one, you should get this one as well. You should.
Shearer. Oh, no, it's Kutspire.
Kutspire, it's more Kutspire. I can tell by the...
Yeah.
Tell by the little band.
Timmy Kutspire.
I didn't recognise him with his top off and kicked him. I'm surprised.
I loved him, mate. I loved his passion.
The kicking the boards and that. I've done 3 players a day and I thought, do you like that? It's
I love
a
it.
bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just a bit of entertainment. So, yeah, we'll
done,
await thank you very much. We're away to Forest at the City Ground on Saturday, 5:30, live on Sky. we'll briefly touch on that one. How do you see? I mean, we've got to sort ourselves out going down there, haven't we?
Well, like I said earlier, Rob, Eddie Howe's got a lot to do on the training pitch this week. And he's got to get, that defensive unit first and foremost getting back. I mean, that clip on Match of the Day last night, we're pretty much the worst team in the Premier League since Christmas defensively. We've conceded 15 goals. We've been a shambles compared to
It's not good reading. It's not good reading.
Compared to what those exact same players were doing previously. It's very disappointing. So there's a lot of work, and I've got faith in Eddie and the boys, and I think they'll come back strongly. And I don't think we'll lose next Saturday.
Do you think Pope's got a lot to do with that?
No.
What was that, Al? Sorry.
Do you think Pope's got a lot to do with that, with the defensive unit, because they both see Pope does a lot of organising?
I think so. I think yesterday, and I know I'm contradicting myself because I think that Dubravka done great against Villa, but I honestly think Pope saves that fourth goal with his feet.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, really good at those tight angles where he doesn't let much past him, and I think that fourth goal doesn't go in with Pope. He's a better shot stopper, 100% better shot stopper, and he's got more dominance and more presence than Dubravka. Dubravka's a better kicker, don't get us wrong, but I mean, it's unfair to say we will win the game if Pope's playing, but I certainly think we wouldn't have conceded as many goals. To answer your question, Al, I think that Pope is a bit more prominent in his area, I think it would make a difference.
Good shout.
Paul, do you have a comment on that?
Well, I think when Pope's playing, I think he gets the defence further forward, so there's not much of a gap between the defence and the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dubravka's not a talker, and Pope plays like a sweeper. So he's playing as a sweeper. He's got to get the defence higher up. Then they're closer to the midfield. At the minute, there's too much of a gap between the midfield and defence, which is probably the reason. Also, the midfield's not working correctly as well. I think he's going to have to iron that out. It's not just Pope.
And that's a good point, Anders, because and it's easy enough looking at the defence, because when you're scoring big goals, that's
you've got to defend as a team.
It's easy to look at that, isn't it? But a lot of the play. Actually, I don't know if you covered this in the first part, but their second goal was Barkley's goal. It's come from Murphy and Longstaff not going to attack.
I said that. They both they couldn't tackle. Yeah,
they've been really, really light, and it's like all of a sudden. And to be honest with you, Barkley, he was the best player on the park yesterday. He was absolutely brilliant, for 90 minutes. So. It's like that just shows you, doesn't it? It's like you don't have to be a superstar. Yes, he's a great player on his day, but he kind of bossed the midfield yesterday. But I think a lot of our problems are coming from midfields where we just don't have that natural shape that we had last year, where we're compact and we're almost like it's protecting the defence an awful lot more, and it doesn't seem to be happening. We're doing great on Tuesday, don't get us wrong. We're excellent against Aston Villa, but yesterday I don't know if it's a home thing where we think the same with Forest, where we're a little bit impatient. We think we'll have to go out and score very quickly and steamroll our teams. It's not always going to be like that. You've got to be patient,
but we've lost two of our central three, haven't we? Joe Linton and Willock are missing. That's a big part of our midfield, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, massive! It's massive.
Mm-hmm. Tonali's out as well, so you think there's three that you would argue would get in the start 11. Do you know what I mean? So it is the big misses,
So score predictions for Forest then. Anyone?
Well, I'll start. I'm going to go for a score draw, and I think it'll be 1-1.
Okay, Paul.
Well, I think he's got to change it at Forest, because that Elanga destroyed Wopier on the wing. If he plays Dan Burn, then I don't know what's going on. He must be married to him or something. You can't play him on Saturday night against him.
No.
He's got to bite the bullet, and it's already saying he's big. If that's the case, you might as well stick Allen at centre half. And none of them want that. So obviously,
I'll take a job, Paul. I'm sure.
I don't think you would, Alan. I think we'll beat them 2-1 on Saturday night. It'll be a difficult game, but I think as long as we play a little bit like we played at Villa, then we should be okay.
Right. Okay. Alan?
After they turned around, they actually beat Wopier, didn't they? 2-2.
2 each. Owen?
I think a week's rest is going to do us good. We don't have a midweek game. I'm actually going, so we're setting off early in the morning, 9:30. We're getting a minibus into Ilkeston on air, so we'll be there. So I'll be well oiled by the time the match kicks off. So I'm hoping for and I think, staying on the positive side, I think we're going to win 2-1.
2-1. Do you think we'll see a reaction after yesterday?
I think so. I think that's, it's. Let's be honest. The other thing as well is that would we be happy if we took a point at Villa and beat Luton at home? There's 4 points and that. Do you know what I mean? So you could look at it the other way.
Look at it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'll go with ones each. Just, I don't know.
I think it's going to depend who's fit, isn't it? Who's fit now. If Gordon's back, and could Isak be back? Willock, they're 3 massive players for one.
Well, if you look at your phone when you're at the ground, and you'll see a rant from me on the chat, just turn on the lads and say Dan Burns starting.
Unless Livermento starts, Alan. Yeah, I think he will. I think that
he's got to start Livermento.
What I don't agree with yesterday, like I think they were singing Tino's name.
I was just going to say that.
That's out of order. That's not a Newcastle crowd. That's
no.
It's no, I don't think that helps. That's not going to help Dan Burn. I mean, he's been an excellent servant for. Don't get us wrong. I still like him. I still think he's got.
I'm not going to argue with that.
But you're right. I think that the time has come where. Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, particularly against a fast winger, and that's 2 games in 3 days or something, isn't it? 4 days. So Howe has to start using that squad. And you're right, Alan. Livramento. What does he have to do to make sure that he gets a start? And he's never. I don't think he's had a bad game, Livramento, when he's played.
But he's an attacking threat as well. It's not just defensively. I mean, look at that Man United goal in the cup. He carried the ball 50 yards and put Almer on it. Burn wouldn't have done that.
But I think up until recently, I think Livramento has been on the bench as an attacking option. So I think that's why Burns started. But now we're getting more players back. You'd rather see Livramento in there. And Dan Burn, unfortunately, would have to take his place on the bench, I suppose.
Yeah. The flip side, of Burn starting, I don't know if I've sort of talked about this before, but I think even Howe's went on record of saying that what it does is it allows Trippier to be more advanced and have that sort of, that sort of threat in the final third going forward. And what it means is that Burn tucks round as like a third centre half, so it almost like you're keeping the shape of a back 3 or a back 4. So I think he's obsessed with that, where like it's like he fills round, but. That's a few games now. And going back to Alan's point, I genuinely do think that, particularly if we're coming against a pacey winger, which we are doing against Forest, he tore a new one, didn't he? It's the home game on Boxing Day. So if that is the case, then we've got to think about this carefully. And I would start with Livramento, definitely.
Well, if you think what seems to have happened in the last 5 or 6 games, when quite rightly is they're targeting Dan Burn. It doesn't matter who we've been playing, they're targeting Dan Burn. I don't know why it's taken them so long. Because he's always had limitations, right? He's always put in a good shift. He's defended really well. He has got limitations at times, and I'm surprised teams hadn't targeted that well before now. But they're doing it. It doesn't matter whether they're playing a good side, a bad side. They're sticking somebody down there and putting him under a lot of pressure every single week. So,
like I say though, Len, a lot of teams were probably trying to do that. But like I said, when they had Joe Linton, they weren't getting the space. Now
because they had to get past him. Get past him first.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's too easy. Yeah. I like that what Warflag's done yesterday about the banners about the TV, like the late kickoffs for the TV. I thought that was a good shout, because
it was quite simple, but it was effective, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a hell of a shout. Well done, them, because some of these kickoff times, especially in London. I mean,
well, they've got another one coming up. Is it awesome?
It's crazy, absolutely crazy, and the hotels are doubling the prices because they're now they can take the piss because people can't get home. It's shit. It's stupid.
Just going back to the Dan Burn thing, did anyone see what Shearer had said about him?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, about he went straight off to Shearer's foundation, didn't he?
I did. So, but Shearer, they reckon Shearer, when he got there, Shearer was on the mic and he said that shame he didn't turn up at 3 o'clock per day, which they reckon Burn took really well, So it's, that's good crack.
Took it all in good fun, didn't he?
Yeah.
We'll just have a little vote here. We'll start with you, Paul. Would you took Burn off at half time?
Yeah.
Yep. Len?
Yeah.
Owen?
I would have, yeah.
Alan?
I wouldn't even started him.
You took him off before half time, Alan.
I would have. No, I'm just saying I wouldn't even started him. I said that after the Villa game.
I know, Alan. I know your feelings. I know.
So I would have after the first goal, I would have took him off. So straight away I would have took him off.
Do you think The problem being is that he had to take Gordon off though, didn't he? So I don't. He's never going to make 2 subs at half time. But it would have been interesting if Gordon had played on, whether he would have made that change. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't until the second half that he got that when he gave the penalty away. Was that the first half or the second half? It was the second half, wasn't it? Yeah.
Second half. Yeah.
I would expect it would be better to bring 2 on at the same time because you still get 3 different changes, don't you?
I just think with
bring double
injury record, it's like it's a bit risky, isn't it? Bringing 2 on at half time when we've got this record that we've got this season where players falling like flies left, right, and centre. Like,
I mean, we've had more casualties in the RBI, haven't we? Yeah, me. Right then. So, Owen, where you playing tonight? Do you want to give a little shout out? Where you playing tonight?
I'm getting a little plug. Yeah, with the Vigilant Inn in South Shields, which isn't too far from where I live. So, but it's an earlier one, 7 till 9 on a Sunday. Yeah,
and if you haven't seen the Pine Barrens, ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves along because fantastic band. How long has it been together now, Owen? A few months?
Yeah, since about April, May, so probably a few more. So just for those who don't know, Rob's brother Dave's the bass player, and Dave, I like to call him the gaffer because he started the band up and he's really persevered with it. So he's a good lad. That's the link to Rob. So yeah, we're 7 to 9 at the Vision night. So if you're the loose end, then get yourself down.
Yeah. And this is how good. This is how good the Pine. 2 seconds, Alan. This is how good the Pine Barrens are, right? When they play and Paul goes to see them, even Paul dances, and you never see Paul dance. There you go. You heard it here first. See Paul dance? You don't want to. Well,
the one about dropping happy hour, Anders. So the day we were looking at the set, and I said, "Nah, you can't do it." I says that it's Anders. He wouldn't speak to
me. He said, "I said I'll never come again to watch you if that's dropped." I've already told you.
Yes, it's a sight to behold. Yeah. Right, so the FA Cup is against Blackburn is being played on Tuesday, the 27th of February, 7:45, and that's live on BBC One. So that is a game that, for God's sake, we need to get through that because if we don't, the rest of the season.
But they've got Arsenal at 8 o'clock on the Saturday night, and then they've got
crazy again.
That is madness.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about Blackburn, there'll be a few fans there, though, won't there?
7.5, I think we'll get.
So,
with the Arsenal game, you would prioritise the Blackburn game because that's more of a season, to be honest. To be brutally honest.
That'll be a feisty encounter down at Arsenal after what happened up here, won't it?
Imagine if any VAR decisions went against them again. Oh, it'll be hell on. They'll be banging on about that one.
Can you imagine Arteta, man? He'd be nigh on the pitch for this game. He'd be getting the reverse fixture, him.
Just take loads of dummies down and everyone just hide dummies at them. Yeah.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
Say that again, Anders. That was very good, that.
That was off Goodfellas, that.
Paul's second favourite manager, behind Klopp, was Arteta.
Oh, yeah.
So is there anything else you just want to touch on, chaps?
I think that's it. Go to the bar and stuff, and we'll get a few players back for next week. 3 week to train.
We need players back.
Just a quick word on Klopp, actually. Me and Paul are in agreement on this one. I'm sure a lot of people are that, think he's been doing a great job. And then in the last few years, he's been getting right on my nerves. So in many ways, I'm pleased to see the back of Klopp. But I do think from a football point of view, he is one of those personalities that make the game what it is. And I think it'd be a big loss to the Premier League. But on the other hand, I'm delighted he's going because he beats you every time he plays with, and you just get sick of his antics. Thinking he's won the league every week. Although he has won everything with Liverpool, he's done a tremendous job. So,
well, whoever gets the job, I think he's going to end up giving his teeth to them. They're going to inherit his teeth. He's promised to leave them.
Oh, well, at least he's done that. That's kind.
Yeah.
That's your pal in the club, Paul.
Yeah, I love him. I love him.
But enough, Rob, when he announced it, Paul rang me and he asked about Klopp leaving.
No, that'll be right. Right, so is everyone available next Sunday so we can do the Forest review?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's probably about after 3. Is that okay? Around 3 o'clock, 3:30?
Fine.
Yeah, I should be back from church by then. Probably
I'll have sobered up by then from the Saturday out, so I'll be fine.
I might chill by then, just in case Dan Burn starts. I might simmer down by then.
Oh, no, you're travelling back on the Saturday night, or you're stopping down there, like?
No, it's there and back, mate. I've got a minibus sorted for 14 or 15, and we're going down. So we do one a year in the minibus. So this is the one in the minibus. So
I've got a soft spot for that ground. That was my first ever away game, 1985, when Gary Megson got equalised on the FA Cup. First ever away match.
I've been before, but I can't remember the score. I'm hopeless with remembering stuff like that. But if I looked at it online, I'd remember it. I could bring it back. But I've only been once before to the City ground. Like.
I was there New Year's Day when Gaza and Mirandino were dancing around the corner flag. We beat them 2-0.
Oh yeah.
Front where they were dancing around the corner flag. It was class.
Yeah.
Back in the olden days, Paul. Back in the olden days.
Yeah, I know.
When I was a lad. I'll
tell you when I was there. I was there when we got beat when Darlow scored. So I've been twice. I've been once. I think I went once in the 90s. And
was that 9 men when I went down to 9 men?
When Darlow saved 2 penalties. That was the last one I went to. Yeah.
Oh God,
that was a balmy game and all.
I remember that.
Right, okay. Right, I think we'll wrap things up. Right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and on behalf of myself and the rest of the lads, enjoy your week, and we'll see you all next Sunday for the Forest Review show. Right, take care, everyone, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Boys.
Yeah.